Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I am back with episode 3 of the Ultimate Scrappy Quilt. This is supposed to be the final episode. I'm pretty sure I can get it all done in this one video. I have my 12 scrappy blocks done. I kind of have them fanned out. Look at this one. It has a little panda bear. This happens to be flannel. It's just so cute. I love it so much. I had a lot of fun doing a little bit of fussy cutting. I didn't do a whole lot of fussy cutting, but I did do a bit. And I have some other cool little things, like this one has a tree. And I like that. And then you'll notice my blocks are numbered. Every time I completed a block, I put a number on it, so I knew not to do that one again. I knew to look at the next one, because it can get a little confusing. But I have to say, putting all this together was so much easier than it looks, because it's just one square at a time. And it was fun to just, build it and then sew it. Oh, I had a good time. I really did. So now I'm going to put all of these together. Oh yes, and so I put my numbers on the top left corner so that I knew this is the, number 8 block, and this is the orientation. It doesn't go this way, it goes this way. Because, I want to put it together. Again, you wouldn't have to. You can turn these any way you want. But I came up with this pattern and I wanted to follow the pattern. You don't have to. You can do things any way you want. The other thing I wanted to mention is that any of these blocks, you can piece blocks and put it there. Say for instance you have some half square triangles laying around that you can trim to either 6.5 or 5 or even 3.5. You can use them, and I totally meant to add like a wonky star or a wonky tree in this as a little signature, and I completely forgot. So next time I do something with pieces, I'm going to try to do that. Now I'm going to sew all of these together, and then I'm going to pick fabric for a border. I might do an inner border and an outer border, not sure yet, but let me get started with this. I have all the blocks put together. I love the scrappy look. Two things I'm not in love with. It's small. I mean, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. It's just, I would like to see this as a king-size quilt, but I can't take the time to do that. So it's small. I mean, you'll see it on the bed. I didn't measure it yet. And it's not square, but it's certainly a chunky rectangle. It's almost as wide as it is tall. But again, I have to try to get used to the fact that I can't make the quilts that I would like or that you guys would like. I get requests for king-size quilts, and it just doesn't make sense for me to do that. I do try to make things that are easy for you to make bigger. You can make this as big as you want. Just repeat another row or pick certain blocks and repeat them. You can totally turn this into a king size, no problem. The other thing that makes me very sad is my little panda block. I totally had room, enough seam allowance, but when I sew rows together, I'm pretty generous with my 1/4 inch. And I didn't think that I was going to be going over this block. I would have been more careful. I'm not about to pick it out. All right, so other than that, I love it. I have a few flipped seams in the back, but boy, not too many. I was trying to work harder on remembering that. And I am going to put a border. I don't know if I'm going to do, a narrow border and then a wider border or just whatever. I have to think. I've decided I am going to keep this very simple. Everything I put next to this, it works because this is scrappy, but it seemed to take away from the scrappiness. I don't know. I didn't like other prints going around. So I have this piece of dark brown and, a little bit more than a 1/2 yard. And since this is small, I think it's like 42 tall, maybe 32 across. I only need 4 strips for border because I can do 1 strip on each side. I won't even have to piece. And then I'll have enough to do a strip on top and bottom after. So I'm just going to cut this into like 4 equal pieces. And I'm just going to go around with this. I think it's going to be super cool. I was able to cut 4 5-inch strips with just a shred of fabric left, and that's going to work out great. I'm going to do the sides first. It's 32 wide plus 5 inches on each side is 42, but I'm going to lose a total of an inch seam allowance, so that's 41. And this measures about 43, I think. So I just need 2 strips for the sides, and then the other 2 strips will still cover the whole top and bottom. And here it is. I don't know if others would have made the same choice as I made for the border, but I love it. I just do. To me, it frames it, and it's a very dark brown, almost like a blackish brown. I just love it so much. I'm going to tell you, when I see how small the inside of that quilt is, and when I think of how much time I spent cutting squares, I feel like I made a king-size quilt, but I didn't. But it's so worth doing that. And for those of you who like to cut fabric, you're going to enjoy that part. You really are. This ended up being 40.5 inches wide by 50.5 inches long, due to that border. So I'm glad I put one on. I hope you enjoyed this, and like I said, if you have a lot of time, you can make as many blocks as you need. I mean, it would be super cool if it was filling up this whole bed. I really would like that. But it doesn't, and this is what I have, and I think it's a good size. You know, it's not a kiddish kind of quilt, but it's a kid-size quilt or a lap quilt. You're going to find something to do with it. I think it looks very old-fashioned. Not retro like, you know, 70s, but old-fashioned like 30s or 40s. I don't know. I don't know what things looked like in the 30s or 40s, but it just looks like something that my great-grandmother would have had, you know? So I do hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Stick around for the little slideshow. I'm going to show you a close-up of the sad, sad panda. I'm so sad that I cut off the top of his head. I really feel bad about that. But you know, shit happens. Can't help it. Can't do it all the time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Oh, penny auction. Go check out the link down below. This is going to be on eBay starting at 1 penny, and free shipping for USA. Outside USA pays the shipping. Thanks again. Bye.